College football has always been a roller coaster of expectations and surprises. But this season, it's a full-blown revolution. Forget everything you thought you knew about the contenders. The teams you expected to dominate are faltering, while underdogs are rising from the ashes. The 12-team college football playoff, CFP Expansion, promised chaos, and it's delivering in spades. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this parity a sign of progress, or has the CFP lost its elite edge? Let's dive in. When the CFP expanded to 12 teams, its creators boasted that November would become a battleground for dozens of hopefuls. Mission accomplished, and then some. According to projections from the Athletics Austin Mock, a staggering 40 teams have at least a 2% chance of making the playoff. Yes, you read that right. Teams like Pittsburgh, Houston, and Iowa are now in the conversation. Meanwhile, preseason favorites like LSU are watching their dreams crumble. And this is the part most people miss. Nearly half of the teams that started the season, ranked in the top 15, are now on the outside looking in. But don't count out Cincinnati or Virginia just yet. They're knocking on the door. Texas, once a preseason darling, is clinging to hope, but they're in better shape than other hyped contenders like Penn State and Clemson. Speaking of Clemson, remember when they were a top 5 team? Now they're fighting just to be bowl eligible. The same goes for LSU, whose playoff hopes were buried in Death Valley after a humiliating 49-25 loss to Texas A&M. Coach Brian Kelly took the blame, but the question remains, can he turn things around before it's too late? Here's the bold truth. LSU's downfall isn't just a setback. It's a symbol of how unpredictable this season has become. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, led by Mike Elko, Kelly's former defensive coordinator, is sitting pretty at 8-0 and a 97% chance to make the CFP. But don't crown them just yet. Their path includes ranked opponents, though both lost their starting quarterbacks over the weekend. Is this the Aggies' year, or will the SEC's brutal schedule catch up to them? The SEC has never been more competitive, with 4 teams, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri, and Georgia, having an 80% or higher chance to make the playoff. Ole Miss in particular is looking like a dark horse after beating Oklahoma 34-26. But with games against South Carolina, Florida, and Mississippi State ahead, can Lane Kiffin's team keep the momentum? And what about Texas? Their overtime wins against Kentucky and Mississippi State were thrilling, but with Vanderbilt and Georgia looming, their playoff dreams might be on life support. Now, let's talk controversy. Is the Big 12 the most underrated conference this year? Preseason predictions had Cincinnati and Houston at the bottom, but both are now contenders. BYU, despite losing their starting quarterback, is undefeated and controls their destiny. Yet only Texas Tech has a CFP chance above 25%. Are we sleeping on the Big 12, or is this just another chaotic year in the conference? The ACC is equally chaotic, with 7 teams having 0 or 1 conference loss. Georgia Tech, 8-0 for the first time since 1966, is a feel-good story, but Miami remains the favorite to make the CFP. However, Virginia and Pitt are quietly positioning themselves as spoilers. Pitt, in particular, has won 4 straight since switching to freshman quarterback Mason Heinschel. Can they pull off a miracle run? Here's a thought-provoking question for you. With so many teams in the mix, has the CFP expansion diluted the prestige of making the playoff, or has it simply amplified the excitement? Let's debate this in the comments. Before we wrap up, here are 3 more storylines to watch. 1. Iowa's long shot. The Hawkeyes have a 2% chance to make the CFP, but with games against Oregon and USC ahead, their fate is in their hands. Can they pull off the upset? 2. The American Athletic Conference race. Memphis, Tulane, and Navy are all in contention, but only one can emerge. Who will it be? 3. The G5 Dream. Tulane leads the group of 5 with a 36% chance to make the CFP, but South Florida, North Texas, and Navy are close behind. Will this finally be the year a G5 team crashes the party? This season is far from over, and the drama is only just beginning. Who do you think will rise to the top? And more importantly, who will be left wondering what could have been? Let's hear your predictions.